If your systems feel like extra work, you've built the wrong ones. Let's fix it. In the next few minutes, I will show you how to map out your bottleneck, ship a lightweight system, assign an owner, and use AI to keep quality tight without bloated docs and corporate nonsense. Every scalable business runs on a system. Start small, stay lean, and let AI handle the heavy lifting. The first thing we need to do is really focus on identifying the constraint or bottleneck in your business. This is also the needy part of your business. Imagine this is the place that's taking the most attention, it's driving the least amount of results, but most importantly, if you ask yourself, if I improved this needy piece of my business, would it actually make my business better? Now, I have a decision tree that I've mapped that really helps me identify bottlenecks so that way I know that I'm solving the correct question. So we're gonna teach you how to systemize your business in these 4 simple steps. The first thing is we need to find what's broken in the business. Again, multiple ways to view that. What is taking up all of your attention? What is needy? What is causing issues? What is that daily burden? But then we need to understand if that's really worth your attention. So as we go through this, we need to figure out the decisions that need to be made. So is fixing this issue gonna increase revenue? Is it gonna increase lifetime value of a client? Is it gonna reduce risk inside the business? Or does it recapture time for you or your team so it can be invested somewhere else? If the answer is no to any of those, you do not have the constraint or bottleneck inside your business, and you need to go back and find, again, something else that is broken that solving would be yes. So for a simple example, something that I teach in the Founder Systems AI course, we talk about show rates when it comes to making phone calls, because it is a really high leverage opportunity to increase revenue and potentially even lifetime value if communicated correctly for service-based businesses. So let's go back through that. And now let's talk about the show rate example. Would fixing show rates, maybe it's 20% and we're getting it to 50%, would that increase revenue in the business? Absolutely, that would increase revenue. So we're just gonna stop there and we've got a solid yes. That's going to increase revenue. We haven't done anything else, we've improved show rates. So now let's go over to the next thing. Are the resources we need to put into this project worth the outcome? So just because you're going to increase revenue, it might not be the right project. So you would think it would make sense, but now when we talk about show rates, that's an easy low touch solution, which we can use a CRM like Go High Level, which I have a link down below for my program to get access to Go High Level at a discounted rate. But you can improve show rates by having your team call ahead of time, by sending SMSs ahead of time, by sending emails ahead of time, by having good communication, by sharing a story. There's 100 different ways where you can get your show rate to improve. You can even improve it by simply having a form to make sure that people are more likely to show by asking the right questions ahead of them booking. So we've determined that the cost of improving our show rates is less than the amount of money we would make by improving those show rates. So now we found the needy process, it's gonna make us more money, and it costs us less money to improve than it's gonna make us. That's the hardest piece. We have found our constraint in our business. Now we need to go into mapping the process. So before we try to fix the process, we need to understand what's actually going. So we wanna map out the specific process, that specific workflow. We don't wanna waste time building out SOPs and FAQs for everything in our business before it's the constraint. We really just wanna focus on this process when it comes to the constraint in our business. So we're gonna map out exactly what they do. So let's use the call rate example. I'm gonna keep it really simple. Let's just say they use a calendar link from Go High Level to book an appointment with an account executive, and then they get 1 email an hour before to show up. So we've mapped that out. We probably have a link to an automation so we can see exactly where it is, what's going on. We read the copy. Maybe we make a simple Word document with here's the automation, here's what the automation says. So we keep it super simple and visual. If you're the only one on there, it could be just quick notes on a notepad, depending on the scale of your operations. Again, this exact process is kind of what we do in Six Sigma and Lean and continuous improvement, and scales up to $1 billion companies, multi-billion. Again, I did this for Eaton Corporation, which I believe now is an $80 billion company, at facilities making over $250 million a year per facility. So it scales up massively. Now that we have this mapped out, we want to capture baseline metrics because we need to know if we're actually improving it later on. So in the show rate example, we can capture that using Go High Level or whatever CRM you're using. So we have mapped out the process and we have our baseline. Now the best way to do this is Founder Systems AI. We give our clients a spreadsheet where they get to note down all of these things, but it's super simple. You can follow the structure of my issue is show rates. My mapped process is here. Here are my current metrics of 20% and set a goal of hitting 50%, or at least making a statistical improvement in that, which goes back towards Six Sigma, which is way more complicated than it needs to be, but it's this exact process. So now we know what we want to try to hit and what we need to do next. So here is where we look at actually fixing the problem. Ideally, you talk to people that are involved. So if you're the owner or a founder in a business and you have account executives or a salesperson involved, maybe a business development representative involved, or maybe just a sales manager, talk to each of them quickly before improving this. Now, we don't want to waste a whole bunch of time on lean business, slowing things down for these conversations, but you also don't want to implement something that doesn't help the team or makes things worse. So before we actually go into making any changes in this situation, we want to look at what pieces of it can we eliminate. So what is unnecessary or broken? What can we automate? And then what can we delegate? That's really how we're looking to fix it. And then in the delegation piece of it, how do we streamline and systematize it so that way people are successful no matter where they are in the business? So with this system, most of what we can do is automation, and we could do some delegation where we could have someone call. So let's talk through that. What that looks like is, instead of having one email go out right before, what we could do is as soon as they book, they could get an email and text message welcoming them to the company, saying how excited you are to have them talk with X, Y, and Z. Make it personal, maybe have a bio of who they're going to talk to, and then have a pre-call webinar that gets them excited for the service that they're about to talk to. What we do at Auto Public Relations, which is one of my businesses, is we offer a discount if they watch the full webinar and enter a code, because then it emails our team, which again is getting more advanced, but it emails our team saying, hey, you have a hot lead, blah, blah. So that in its own, just doing that piece will help improve show rates. But then we only had one email going out an hour before. How about we do an email going out 24 hours before, let's do an email an hour before, and then a text message 10 minutes before or 5 minutes before. So you play with that cadence. You don't want to be too much. You don't want to be, not enough that people aren't showing up. And then you will also want to add value throughout that, so your conversion rates go up. So you're getting better show, and then you can also probably improve your conversion rates in the same process by pre-educating your lead. So that is how we would look at fixing that. Then what we want to do is document our fix. So we want to look at an SOP, a standard operating procedure, which just documents everything we're going to do. And I have a sample for you, which you can get the free samples down below. This is part of what I teach in the Founder Systems AI course and community. And basically this is overcomplicated, but I take a simple answer, I put it into ChatGPT with my template, and I have it fill it all out because I have an AI knowledge base that knows a lot about my company. Again, getting too far in there, but all you really need in this is who owns it. I like to have why we're doing it and the goals. So people understand the purpose behind it. This adds so much value, explaining the why and explaining what good looks like, and then just simply adding in the procedures, which I have down here. Now I do have some more information. This is also because I use an AI system that helps me make sure that I'm really keeping this streamlined, which I will show you later, but we want to keep this as quick as possible for you. Now, another way that I make this really easy, I will record a screen share or a Loom video, and I will dictate through every single step of the process. And I'll put that video right at the top of here, but then I'll take the transcription, put in AI with this template, and it gives me everything I need. So that's how I do it crazy fast building these SOPs. But these SOPs are so critical because even if it's automation, who's responsible for it if the metrics begin to drop down again or if something breaks? And so you want to have that owner, which might be a sales manager, might be an automation expert, maybe you have someone on your team that's in charge of Go High Level, whatever that looks like, you still want this workflow to be monitored. Someone who has clear understanding of, okay, So our show rates are dropping, maybe we're no longer hitting our goals. Now let's go back into this. So we've documented all of that. Now the next piece of it is, like I mentioned, we want to put it into this AI master system. So I just have all of my SOPs in a document that looks kind of like this. Again, we have another template down below, but this is just a Google Drive or spreadsheet that links all of this. This is just for my Founder Systems AI course, but it links all of the tools, all of the transcriptions, so I can make a really smart AI. And the advantage is that people actually get to use it and they can have questions back and forth with it, and they can help build the next system on top of it and look for conflicts as well and get questions answered really quickly as if they knew every single thing about the business. And now we're gonna use change management or train and scale with the team. So we wanna make sure that our salespeople know what's going on. We wanna make sure that our operation and our sales manager understand the changes. And we want to, in that process, have a system that allows one person to be in charge of monitoring it. Because in Six Sigma, we only consider this project done once we know that our numbers have actually improved. So I believe we started at 20% show rates, and now let's just say we are at 50% show rates through this process. That is a significant improvement, and in Six Sigma, you call it a statistical change, which means we have succeeded and we're very happy. Now the key here is having that owner who monitors these show rates and understands that if the show rates start dropping, this could be the process that needs to be looked at. And there could be other factors as well, but we do that through what I call a daily SOP. So it's an individual person's standard operating procedure. Again, I have this example down below, and it works the same way with the process-based SOP. We have an owner, but it's explaining each step. Now what we could do is take this process-based SOP, grab this, and then just share it on someone's daily SOP. So maybe it's under additional responsibilities. This sales manager or salesperson is in charge of monitoring their show rates. And then if it drops below X, they report it to someone, or they're in charge of auditing the process. So this is where it becomes really powerful. I'm not gonna walk through everything in here because the daily SOP isn't the purpose of this, but it shows you how to create this ownership. And then I do have videos training exactly how to build these in YouTube and also on the Founder Systems AI course. But high level, it just shows what are their daily responsibilities, explaining what it is. That's where you probably link to that task-based SOP. How much time should this take? How important, what the priority is for this individual to make sure that that's happening. And then again, I always think it's important to have a goal and a why they're doing something. And the overview is really more for AI, but it puts it all together. So to backtrack a little bit, in step one, we found the needy part of our business, the constraint, the bottleneck, and then we confirmed that it's going to improve revenue by fixing it. We improved that the resources required are less than the output we're gonna get. We mapped the current state and tracked our current metrics. We then looked at ways to automate, delegate, or eliminate, fixing the process. Then once we documented that current new process, we handed that off to a team member, trained them, and taught them how to run it and operate it using a daily SOP. And finally, we're going to put that into the master AI system. So then by taking all of these documents and keeping them organized, we're able to upload them to an AI knowledge base, which I teach in other videos on YouTube. And then anyone can come in and ask questions about it. So this is an internal system that we use, but basically for Founder Systems AI course and community, we have a knowledge base that's trained on exactly what we're teaching here, on bottlenecks, on constraints, on how to solve these issues, on what steps to take. And then there's worksheets specifically to go with that, that are what really add the value. But the point is this AI system makes it really easy to find those instructions and how to do each task. That makes all these bloated documents and systems way more refined and easier to understand. So using the different SOPs and tools is just adding on a layer of value to make the whole system kind of come together. Now the last piece of this is making sure that you have tracking and performance with that individual owner, so they know what those goals, they know what the expectations are for good, so that way we can continue to make sure that we're hitting that 50% show rate, and that if it drops back down, there's an individual who owns it who can help make sure to push that back up. Once you finish this, this is where really systems compound like capital, and you can go on to the next one. So you've improved this system, you've improved your lifetime value. Now you get to look for the next needy part in your business, and that is really, really where the power comes in.